From the depths of hell to forbidden stories. Today we will discover the stories of the 8 most powerful evil entities that have tormented humanity since time immemorial. Demons that have left their evil mark on the most sacred pages of history. Number 8. This list begins with a powerful and dark demon who, in the vast cosmology of demonology, rises as a prince of darkness. Samael, the shadowy demon of malice and desolation, weaves his story with threads of rebellion and sin, charting a path of perdition and temptation. In older traditions, Samael is depicted as a fallen angel, banished from heaven for defying divine will. His heart hardened against the light, and his fall marked the beginning of an existence shrouded in darkness. Samael, also known as the Angel of Death, walks between the living and the dead, carrying his great scythe, with which he can cut the thread of life. Its presence is said to be an icy whisper in the back of your neck, a harbinger of doom, and an implacable reminder of human mortality. Many sins and evils are attributed to him, from his role in the temptation of Eve in Eden, to his union with the demon Lilith, the mother of demons, engendering a brood of darkness and chaos that torments humanity. His power is vast and his influence spreads like a black shadow over the world. Number 7. Deep in the ancient forests, where shadows come to life and trees whisper ancient secrets, it is said to dwell Behemoth, a demon of colossal size and unfathomable power. Its history, shrouded in mystery and myth, dates back to time immemorial, when the gods still walked among men. Behemoth is described as a beast of monstrous proportions, with impenetrable scaled skin and eyes that burn with an unnatural light. It is said that his breath is like fire and his voice, a deafening thunder that makes the earth itself tremble. Over the centuries, Behemoth has been said to have witnessed the rise and fall of entire civilizations, with his towering figure watching from the shadows as the world changes around him. He has attributed powers over the earth and the natural elements, capable of causing earthquakes and natural disasters with a simple movement of his colossal body. Furthermore, their very presence is associated with the devastation of natural resources, death and desolation, which can lead to shortages of food and other resources vital for human survival. Its presence is also synonymous with immorality, leading humans to engage in destructive and self-destructive behaviors toward those under its influence. Number 6. In the abysses of the underworld, Mammon stands like a prince among demons, highlighting his figure enveloped in a dark glow of insatiable greed and excessive ambition. His story of greed and desire charts a path of perdition for those who fall under his influence. Mammon is the very personification of material wealth, a demon whose seduction spreads like a poisonous plague, corrupting the hearts of those who endlessly seek to accumulate more and more. Sins of greed and envy are attributed to him, fueling the flame of ambition until it consumes everything in its path. Its power is subtle but powerful, manifesting itself in the obsession and compulsion that drive mortals to sacrifice everything for the sake of wealth. He is depicted as a cunning, manipulative being, capable of twisting the minds and hearts of those who fall under his influence so that they follow his path of greed and unbridled desire. Mammon's powers extend beyond the material, also affecting the spiritual well-being of those who succumb to his charms. It is said that it can corrupt even the most virtuous, turning them into slaves to their own desires and leading them down the path of perdition. Number 5. Asmodeus is one of the most intriguing and terrifying demonic figures in hell, enveloped in an aura of malice and seduction. He is known as a demon of great power and cunning, capable of corrupting the hearts of men with his tricks and deceptions. Asmodeus is described as the demon of lust, whose influence spreads like a shadow over those who seek unlimited pleasure. Sins of lust and perversion are attributed to him, tempting mortals with promises of carnal pleasure and temporary satisfaction. His power is vast and his cunning legendary, capable of seducing the strongest with his charms and leading them down the path of sin and perdition. He is represented as a being of great beauty and charm, hiding his true nature behind a mask of seduction and deception. Asmodeus' powers are varied and terrible, from his ability to manipulate the desires and passions of men and women, to his ability to sow discord and ruin in their lives. It is said to be able to twist the minds and hearts of those who fall under its influence, leading them to commit acts of betrayal and cruelty in their insatiable pursuit of pleasure and power. Number 4. In the shadows of the underworld, Baal stands as the prince of treachery in pagan worship, cloaked in a cloak of power and deception. The figure of this demon is one of the oldest, whose influence spreads like a shadow over the hearts of men. Baal is known for his association with idolatry in pagan worship, seducing mortals with promises of power and protection in exchange for their devotion and sacrifice. Sins of idolatry and betrayal are attributed to him, leading men down the path of false worship and deviation from the true faith. His power is vast and terrible, manifesting in manipulation and deception that leads mortals to commit acts of cruelty and sacrifice in his name. He is depicted as an imposing and fearsome being, capable of inspiring both reverence and terror in those who worship him. Baal's powers are varied and terrible, from his ability to control the elements of nature to his ability to influence the hearts and minds of men. It is said to be able to summon storms and earthquakes, as well as sow discord and distrust among those who fall under its influence. Number 3. Deep within the turbulent, mysterious waters lurks Leviathan, a nightmarish creature cloaked in iridescent scales and eyes that burn with the fire of malice. His story is that of an ancient demon, whose power and ferocity are legendary in demonological traditions. Leviathan is known as the demon of destruction and chaos, whose evil spreads like a shadow over the seas and waters. Leviathan's powers are varied and terrible, from his ability to control the waters and sea creatures to his ability to sow discord and destruction in his wake. Its influence is feared by sailors and fishermen, who believe that its presence in the waters is a harbinger of misfortune and calamity. He is represented as a monstrous and gigantic being, whose very existence is a threat to humanity. But beyond his size and strength, Leviathan possesses a twisted and cunning intelligence. It is said that his breath is poison and his gaze is fire, consuming everything in his path with an insatiable voracity. Number 2. In the depths of the underworld, the mighty Beelzebub rises as an ominous figure, his presence surrounded by an aura of malice and infernal might. Known as the Lord of the Flies, his name evokes fear and repulsion in equal measure, marking his position as one of the most feared princes of hell. The history of the great demon Beelzebub dates back to very ancient times, where his influence rivaled the deities themselves. Powers are attributed to him over diseases and the worst plagues, capable of sending pestilence and death with a simple wish. Their cunning and deception are legendary, capable of seducing and corrupting even the most virtuous. Their presence is a harbinger of misfortune and ruin, a sign that divine wrath has been unleashed on humanity. It is said that his gaze is like fire, consuming everything in its path with an insatiable voracity. Beelzebub is the very representation of the dangers of pride and corruption. Their influence is a reminder that, in a world full of temptations and dangers, it is easy to fall into darkness and evil. Number 1. In the annals of mythology and religion, few figures arouse as much fascination and terror as Lucifer, the fallen angel. Their story is an epic tale of rebellion, power, and tragedy that has captured the imagination of generations for thousands of years. Lucifer, whose name means bringer of light, was originally one of the most beautiful and powerful angels in heaven, with a beauty and splendor that rivaled the stars themselves. However, his heart little by little became corrupted by pride and ambition, longing to be equal to God in his divinity. With a third of the angels at his side, Lucifer openly defied divine authority, in an unprecedented act of rebellion. The war in heaven that followed was cataclysmic, and thanks to the immeasurable powers of Archangel Michael, Lucifer and his followers were ultimately cast into the abyss, transformed into infernal beings, and condemned to reign over the dark realm of hell. Lucifer is said to possess supernatural powers, ranging from manipulating the minds and souls of mortals to the ability to manifest himself in the form of dazzling and deceptive light. His influence is subtle but penetrating, whispering temptations and sowing seeds of discord and rebellion in the hearts of men, making him the ultimate demon and the representation of evil itself. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe to the channel, so we can bring you more of history's finest tops from around the world.